Imagine with me a lit stage. On one side, a wooden cross, a symbol of sacrifice, surrender, and a love that gives itself completely. On the other side, a bitten apple, the most recognized logo of the 21st century, a symbol of creativity, innovation, and rebellion against the ordinary. Two symbols that seem worlds apart, yet they engage in a silent dialogue about what it means to be human, about power, fragility, and transcendence. Have you ever stopped to think about that? While millions carry the cross around their necks and in their places of worship, millions of others carry the bitten apple in their pockets and hands. Both tell stories, but very different ones. The cross was once a scandal. In the first century, it was a mark of shame, a place where the powerful crushed rebels, a tool of execution for anyone daring to challenge the Roman system. And yet, it was there that Jesus chose to reveal himself. He didn't seek Caesar's throne. He didn't seek the glory of emperors. He embraced weakness, suffering, and human limitation. That's what makes the cross so powerful. It flips the script. What was defeat becomes victory. What was humiliation becomes glory. The cross reminds us, it's not about having it all. It's about giving it all. It's not about conquering the world. It's about giving your life for the world. Now look at the other side, the bitten apple. Steve Jobs introduced to the world the idea that technology could be beautiful, simple, almost spiritual. He wasn't selling computers. He was selling a new way of seeing life. Think different. The phrase echoed like a manifesto, and millions believed it. What the cross declared through blood, the apple declared through design. There's another way. While Jesus spoke of surrender, Jobs spoke of innovation. While the cross pointed toward heaven, the apple pointed toward the future. But there's a curious detail. The apple is bitten, a symbol that echoes an older story, the Garden of Eden. Temptation, the desire to be like God, the longing to cross boundaries. And when you see that symbol, what do you think of? Just a brilliant brand, or a reminder that humanity still carries the same impulse to seek limitless power? Now place the two symbols side by side. On one hand, the cross, a call to humility, surrender, sacrificial love. On the other, the apple, a call to creativity, progress, and human achievement. Are they opposites? Or are they mirrors reflecting our deepest tensions? Because deep down, all of us live with this dilemma. We want to create, dream, and conquer. But we also need to learn to let go, to love, to serve. Maybe the real clash isn't between the cross and the apple. Maybe it's inside of us. Steve Jobs once said something profound. Death is very likely the single best invention of life. It's life's change agent. It clears out the old to make way for the new. It's fascinating to hear this from someone who, at the same time, feared death deeply. Jobs sought special diets, alternative treatments, technological solutions, all to prolong life, as if the bitten apple also carried a hidden promise to defeat mortality. But the cross offers a very different answer. The cross doesn't run from death. It goes through death. It stares the end in the face and transforms the grave into a garden. While the apple promises to extend life, the cross promises to resurrect the dead. While the apple says, think different to live longer, the cross says, die to truly live. Think about this. Millions line up for the newest iPhone. They camp outside stores, eager to hold the latest symbol of status and innovation. But how many line up to embrace the cross? How many are willing to give up themselves, their dreams, their ambitions, to follow a carpenter who died as a criminal? Here the clash becomes sharp. The apple speaks to our desire to be recognized. The cross speaks to our need to be transformed. And maybe that's why so many prefer the apple. Because it's beautiful, shiny, desirable. While the cross is rough, heavy, and uncomfortable. But in the end, which one truly has the power to save? In the logic of the market, value is found in what you have. In the logic of the cross, value is found in what you give. Steve Jobs changed the world by putting technology in everyone's hands. Jesus changed eternity by putting salvation within everyone's reach. One did it with chips and design, the other did it with blood and grace. Both changed history, but only one changed humanity's destiny. Symbols shape how we see the world. Maybe you've never thought about it, but when you see a cross, you instantly think of faith, sacrifice, church. When you see a bitten apple, you think of technology, modernity, status. That's why this clash runs so deep. These aren't just images, they're condensed stories, narratives shaping billions of lives. Jesus, by embracing the cross, became the symbol of a narrow, counterintuitive way, one that doesn't seek applause but truth. Steve Jobs, by lifting the bitten apple, became the symbol of human genius, boldness against the obvious, and beauty in simplicity. But here's the difference. The cross calls us out of ourselves. The apple calls us into ourselves. Imagine holding out both hands, and in one, the cross, in the other, the bitten apple. Which would you choose? On one side, the promise of success, innovation, recognition, relevance. On the other, the promise of redemption, surrender, transformation. It's not an easy choice, because humans are creatures of desire to create, to conquer, to leave a mark. But we are also creatures of emptiness, a spiritual thirst for something money and technology can never buy. This is where the two stories collide, in the very center of the human heart. Today we live in an age where the bitten apple promises something only the cross once promised: eternity. Think about technological advancements, artificial intelligence, cloning, the metaverse, biotechnology. All point to a hidden desire, not to die. Some companies are even working on digital immortality, a way to upload your consciousness to a system, a backup of your soul. But does that really solve the human problem? You might have a copy of yourself, but it wouldn't truly be you. An avatar can't carry your essence. The cross, on the other hand, doesn't offer a backup. It offers resurrection. Not you saved as a file, but you transformed into glory. Maybe you've never noticed, but the cross still draws billions, even after 2,000 years. It has no sleek design, no flashy ads, no lines outside stores, but it has something no bitten apple could ever give: forgiveness. And that's the point. The cross addresses the deepest human need, not just to live longer, but to live truly. Not just to create new tools, but to be recreated within. The bitten apple has a price. An iPhone can cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Access to innovation comes with a monetary cost. The cross has a price too, but not in money. Its price is your life. Jesus said, "Whoever wants to follow me must deny themselves, take up their cross, and follow me." The apple's price is financial. The cross's price is existential. And that's why so many avoid it, because it's easier to swipe a credit card than to crucify your ego. In the end, the question isn't which symbol looks better, but where each one leads. The bitten apple can give you a comfortable, connected, successful life, but it can't go with you beyond the grave. The cross, rough and heavy as it is, opens a path beyond the grave, a path of resurrection. The apple promises to immortalize your image. The cross promises to eternalize your soul. So which story are you letting guide your life? Because, like it or not, you're already carrying a narrative in your heart. Maybe it's the story of consumption, progress, and innovation. Maybe it's the story of faith, surrender, and redemption. But remember this: a symbol doesn't just shape your present, it shapes your future. And in the clash between the cross and the bitten apple, only one has the power to cross death itself and give you true life. Steve Jobs changed how the world communicates. Jesus changed what it means to be human. The bitten apple became the icon of a generation. The cross became the icon of eternity. One sought to put power into people's hands. The other sought to put hope into people's souls. One believed that thinking different would change the world. The other proved that loving differently would save the world. At the end of his life, Steve Jobs said, "Being the richest man in the cemetery doesn't matter to me. Going to bed at night saying we've done something wonderful, that's what matters." Beautiful words, but also tragic words. Because on a deathbed, even the bitten apple loses its shine. The cross, however, becomes even brighter, because when life ends, the promise of the cross begins. The cross isn't just a symbol of the past. It's the key to the future. You can admire Steve Jobs' brilliance. You can use Apple technology every day. There's nothing wrong with that. But never confuse innovation with salvation, because in the clash between the cross and the bitten, Apple, only one has the power to carry you beyond time, beyond death, beyond everything technology can ever offer. The cross still stands, the symbol of a love that defeated death, of a victory no empire, no company, no innovation can ever erase. And in this clash, you must decide. Will you live only for the shine of the apple, or will you surrender to the transforming shadow of the cross?